Hello everyone, this is Ilakya. I scored a rank of 115 in the recently conducted INISET exam. This is my YouTube channel. In this, I will be sharing tips and tricks to clear the INISET and the NEET PG exam. In this video, what we are going to focus mainly is about GTs, the important thing of the preparation. In this video, we are going to see how to attend GTs and how many times should we do the GTs and when to do the GTs on. Let's get started. So in this video, I'm not going to tell you some flashy statements that is going to gain me views or something. So I'm just going to tell the strategies I followed, I used, from which I improved. First point is start your preparation with GT because when I started my preparation, I gave a GT. I got around 79 corrects, just 79 corrects actually. So I studied somewhat good up to my final year, and during CRRA, I didn't study anything. So I forgot everything during that point of time. So see, less than 100 corrects was kind of a disappointment to me for that point at that point of time. But my maximum corrects in Marrow GTs were 185 actually. So from 80, I improved to 185. I improved like 105 questions. It's very huge, right? So I know how far along I have come and my path is right. My strategies are working. This is the kind of reassurance we need. So that only I'm saying that give a GT initially. It is going to give you tremendous confidence that you're doing everything right when you're going to get good scores. Okay? So and the next thing is do GT every 5 days. Every 5 days once whatever happens, you should give GTs even though you're having a bad day or not studying properly, anything, you should do GTs. Every 5 days, do GTs. Doing questions is very, very important. So if you are a beginner, you can do GTs every 10 days. If you feel like you guys are an exception, if you feel like GTs are very tricky and very difficult, you can do like do your PYQs as GTs for like first 1 month. Or you can do that. After that, you have to change it to GTs because GTs are the key to success of NEET PG and NSET both. So if you ask me how many GTs should I give? So we have like 3 months for our NEET PG, right? So you should give minimum of 12 to 15 GTs. Minimum 12 to 15 GTs you should give. Attend all the live GTs you can. Okay? Because that will tell you the how much competition is out there and it will show you the reality. So attend all the live GTs of Marrow. I love doing GTs and Marrow, so I would recommend you to do in Marrow too. So attend minimum 12 to 15 GTs before going to a NEET. If you're going to appear for NSET, you have to do twice many GTs as NEET. I did like 50 plus GTs for my NSET exam. The most important thing is the NEET is going to test your revision capacity and your factual knowledge mostly, but IN is going to check how you function under pressure. So how you are going to deal with the question. It's going to check your question solving ability. So illicit, if you're preferring for illicit, please do as much as question possible. Okay, we are going to see how should we write the GT. Okay, so if possible, please do your GTs in the computer. And then the second thing is how to approach a GT, how to approach the module. Okay, we have like 50 questions in the module for INI and 40 questions in the module for NEET. So what you should do is first in the first read write as much as easy question possible. So complete like minimum 30 to 35 questions in the first read. Do all the easy questions in your first read. In the second read, you will be having some doubts, right? This plus or minus questions. So do that in your second read. In your third read, attend your difficult questions. Okay, we have to do first, second, and then 3 reads. 3 reads should be done for writing the exam. Okay, and then the third thing is time management. Managing time is very, very important for NSA because why I'm saying this is during my last exam, I was writing the exam in a good way. Everything was going fine. I was happy that I'm going to clear the exam and all. All of a sudden, there was like 20-25 questions and I have just 10 minutes left. So I don't know how that happened. I just lost the track of time. From that point of time, what I did was I used to do calculate the exact time for my questions. For my calculation is that for 10 questions, we have to use 6 to 7 minutes. Okay. Usually I will write it in the paper I should be completing these much questions in this point of time, and I will just verify, am I doing it? Yeah, I am doing it. I am at the track of time, everything is going good. Okay, I will be reassured. That's all. If you guys have problem with the track of time, you can use this. If not, no issues, just leave this point. In the case of night NEET, we are not going to have this much of a problem, because in NEET they are going to give you 50 seconds to 1 minute for a question. So if you time management for that too, try to complete your 10 questions within 8 to 9 minutes. Okay. And then the most important question of every aspirant is, how many questions should I skip? So you can skip up to 7 questions so safely, and please don't skip more than 10 questions, because if you skip more than 10 questions, it's going to cost you a rank. I'm just going to tell an example to you. During my during this innocent exam, I skipped like 6 questions. 4 questions are known to me, and the top 50 rankers got like 160 rights, and I got around 155 rights. Just think, if I wrote that 4 questions right, I would have got a double digit rank. That pain of not attending a question is still haunting me. I think it will haunt me for a lifetime. So I'm just asking you, please don't do that, because I don't want you to feel the pain I have now. So don't skip questions more than 10. So if you ask me what are the questions should I skip, I will say don't attend the questions that are numbers, dates, and the questions which are more factual, and you don't have any idea about the word given in that question. Like these questions, there is no need that you should attend. Please don't attend this kind of questions. Okay, ma'am. If you are sure that, if you are like 25% or 50% sure of it, you can attend that question. I will be adding a clip of questions which you should skip and which you should not in the further video. So in this video, let's see which questions are to be skipped and which are not to be. In the first question, they were asked, how much centimeter should you cover to have a safe repair? Okay, so the answer is 2 centimeter, but without studying, there is no chance that we are going to get it right. Okay, we have only 25% probability that we will get it right. So there is no need to write these questions in down. Next one is, which organism has two circular DNA molecule? So we know without studying we can't write this question too. So the one liners like this can be skipped if you want. But if you have any idea about it, just try to give a guess. In the third question, they are given about small intestine injury with laceration more than 50%. We guys are not familiar with the grading of small intestine injury, right? But we know the grading of liver, spleen, and then renal system, and then the kidney. But we are not familiar with small intestine. So you should not, so you will be like, oh, I don't know this question. Let me go to the next question. You should not think like that, because we can take a lucky guess here. Let me tell you. For liver, the grade is less than 10 percentage, 10 to 50 percentage, and then more than 50 percentage. It comes like this, right? So this is 1, this is 2, and this is 3. For a spleen also, it comes like this alone. So that is the chance that more than 50 percentage can be grade 3, right? So if you wrote this right as 3, our answer is actually 3. Okay, you have saved your one question, you have saved your 1 mark. Okay, so we should not panic that, oh my god, I didn't study this, I don't know this question, how can I write this question? You should not think like that. Don't panic, remain calm, and then think, how can I diffuse this question, how can I approach this question? That's how you have to think. Okay, in the next question, let's see. We guys don't know anything about Telgut system, right? But we can take a lucky guess here. Okay, chordoma is from notochord, right? Teratoma is from which ectoderm, endoderm, and then mesoderm. What about epidermoid cyst? It is from ectoderm. Okay. What they are asking? They are asking the remnant of primitive gut, right? So primitive gut, hind gut, tail gut. The answer is tail gut cyst. There is no need that we have to study this question to answer it right. Just by using common sense and remaining calm, we can write this question. Okay. I will give you another example. Everybody knows that Bacillus anthracis is having a polypeptide capsule, right? But we don't know what is the gene coding for it and what is the pathogenic factor for it. So POX2 is the gene actually, but we don't know. It can be 1 or 2. It is going to be a very lucky guess. You can get it right or it may go wrong too. But if you know the question 50%, just take a lucky guess, write it there is many chances that we can get those questions right. I just gave you a basic idea about skipping the questions. Okay, there is no need that you should follow this exactly. Just see this video, do a GT, apply it, and see whether it is going well for you or not. Okay, so the final decision is going to be yours. Which question to skip? How many questions to be skipped is in your hands only. Okay, I just gave some tips in this video. If you want more details about skipping the questions, please leave a comment in the comment section. We can make a separate video about skipping the questions. I hope you guys are benefited by this video. In the next part of GTs, we'll be seeing how to review the GT, how to avoid silly mistakes, how to improve your scores, and which platforms to use in the next part.